We just spent 10 days in one of the most inhospitable places in the world, Black Rock City, or more commonly known as
Burning Man.
After going for 4 years and spending a seemingly endless amount of time planning for the trip, we're now providing you with
everything
we've learned, including how do you get there? Do you need to join a theme camp? The currency. Do you need a bike? The food. How to get a ticket? Wi-Fi service? What to bring? I mean, really, if we don't answer all your burning questions, just give this video a thumbs up. I'm not saying we're the experts at Burning Man, but if we made it out alive for 4 straight years, we must be doing something right. This is the Black Rock City Travel Guide. Let's go!
I'm living my best life. I'm living my best life.
Well, it's basically impossible to even come close to just describing what Burning Man is like to someone who has never attended. So let's start off with a quick 30-second lesson. Put the time on the clock. Burning Man began in 1986, but it wasn't until 1991 when it officially moved to Black Rock Desert in Nevada. What it actually represents is multiple different interconnected concepts mostly centered around transformation, community, self-exploration, art, and liberation from mainstream societal norms. But if you ask my mom, it's a sex and drug-fueled commune.
Right.
Ultimately, the event represents a living experiment showing what human society is capable of when freed from money and focusing on human creativity, kindness, and collaboration.
Precisely on schedule.
So there's no money at Burning Man?
Yes, more or less that is correct. There are a few exceptions to this, like for buying ice or gray water pump outs on RVs, but once you drive into Black Rock City, the whole concept of money is flipped on its head since you can't buy or pay for anything.
So if my money is completely useless, where do I get drinks and food?
You just have to seek out the people or camps gifting things that might interest you, or more importantly, stumbling upon them randomly as it happens. A better idea is if you could imagine a decent-sized city of like 70 or 80,000 people, what would you do if everything in the city was free or gifted to you? Let's say a random camp is gifting out pancakes on a specific day and time. You could plan exactly to be in the location in the city, or you could randomly bump into Daft Punk playing at the trash fence.
One more time.
Trash fence? What the heck is a trash fence?
The entire event is surrounded by an orange construction fence in the shape of a pentagon that helps prevent people from leaving and entering the event, as well as collecting random trash that blows away. Burning Man also has these 10 principles that reflect the community and culture, one of them being leave no trace.
What are you talking about? I'm sorry, what? Leave no trace? 10 principles?
Burning Man is a leave no trace event. Actually, it's the largest one on Earth. You won't find any garbage cans or trash collection services in Black Rock City, so everything that you bring with you to live in the desert for a week, you should leave with as well, making the environment as clean or cleaner than when you arrived. Leave no trace is just one of the 10 principles. I'll try to mention each of them randomly throughout the video and indicate it with this little icon. You'll also randomly stumble upon Moop when you're out on the playa, so pick it up if you see it.
What? Come again? Moop? Playa?
Oh boy, where to start? MOOP is an acronym, and it stands for Matter Out of Place. This refers to anything that doesn't naturally belong in the Black Rock Desert, like the trash we were just talking about. On the other hand, the playa can refer to either the physical Black Rock Desert location or the dry lake bed surface itself.
Lake bed. I thought we were in the desert.
Yeah, lake bed.
right near the beach. Boy!
This entire location used to be a massive prehistoric lake that existed until around 15,000 years ago. This is what gives us the blank canvas to build, create, and take down the city every year.
Wait, all of this work is just for 1 week?
Not exactly. The event is held for about 8 days during the last week of August, but people begin working and volunteering about a month in advance, and then it really kicks up about a week before the event when the theme camps and art projects begin setting up their respective camps and art.
What is a theme camp, and do I have to join?
It's okay, don't beat yourself up. Let me say this.
A theme camp is a group anywhere in the range of 3 people to almost 400, all camping in a specific area and benefit from shared resources and is able to provide a gift at a much larger scale.
Gifting!
This is how large and unimaginable art, gifts, and mutant vehicles end up being created. You may not have to bring your own food or water to survive on if the camp already has its own kitchen, while also providing you maybe with 3 meals a day. Also, all the water you need. This can free up a lot of room if you're thinking about flying in and renting a car, or taking the Burner Express bus, which both will have limited amount of space.
Burner Express bus?
You heard that right. Instead of driving in the desert for hours on end and then waiting in line for hours, you can simply take the Burner Express bus from either Reno or San Francisco. Similar to an airplane, you'll have a specific luggage allowance to bring with you on the bus. And then the bus has an added bonus of not having to wait in line to come into Burning Man or to get out of Burning Man. This is a huge benefit for people flying in from across the country or even from another country and just joining a theme camp that has the resources you can't fit in your luggage.
Well, do I need to join a theme camp?
You have the option of open camping, which could just be you and your partner or friends just camping in the desert. We did this for 3 years and had to bring literally everything you could possibly need to be self-sufficient and be
Radically self-reliant.
This can be extremely rewarding, but it takes a lot of planning and logistics ahead of time. If you don't already own a lot of your camping equipment, tools, or survival items, open camping is going to be more expensive than just joining a theme camp. Once you get into Black Rock City, you can set up your campsite basically anywhere in these outer ring sections that isn't taken. Our packing list for open camping is now well over 200 items.
Wow. What do I need to bring to Burning Man?
The million-dollar question in a society that functions without money.
Right.
That all depends on how comfortable you want to live. If you want to join a theme camp, if you want to camp in a tent or an RV, if you're going to do open camping, or if you're flying in, the most basic thing to survive is food, water, and shelter. For a full list of what to bring, you should read the survival guide in its entirety. You'll find it online here, and there's also plenty of lists online if you just do a simple search.
Oh yeah, the internet. Am I even going to have Wi-Fi or even cell phone service?
What did you say?
That's a big nope for cell phone service. But for Wi-Fi, you could visit any number of camps that's gifting free Wi-Fi service, or possibly the theme camp you join might have a Starlink connected directly to satellite Wi-Fi. But just remember, you're at
Burning Man.
Do you want to spend a lot of time connected online, which you could do every other week of the year? Or do you want to be present and live in the moment in this temporary society? If you're looking to meet friends, family, or anyone else out there, make sure you have a date, time, and location set up before leaving to Burning Man.
So it's hot then?
That's your question?
One of the most unpredictable things out of the unpredictability that is Burning Man is the weather. Yes, it is hot. No, it's not humid. Yes, it's cold. Yes, it can get very cold. Bringing clothing for every weather possibility is not something to be taken lightly. You can go from having the time of your life at sunset to being freezing cold in just an hour, while all your warm clothes is back at camp still miles away.
So is it hard to do?
Oh, yeah.
Understatement of the century right there. I consistently tell people how challenging and rewarding it is at the same time. I'd say it's like visiting another planet while still being on Earth. Everything is new and fun and amazing and unique and exciting and scary and different and horrible all at the same time, while the desert conditions are always trying to kill you, and all I want is a dang warm shower.
Count me in, dudes. I am in serious need of some bro time.
Did I get that right? The desert is trying to kill you?
Not a mercy.
So this is a high desert, about 3,900 feet above sea level, so you'll need to be consuming extra water compared to usual. There is literally nothing around to block the wind, so any little wind gust can quickly turn into 20 or 60 mile an hour windstorms with complete whiteout conditions. Any small amount of rain will bring everything to a standstill, with the clay sticking to literally
Everything.
And then there's the ground, which isn't exactly sand, but it's more like a fine alkaline dust with clay underneath it that easily gets into literally And if that wasn't enough, the alkaline dust is highly corrosive to electronics, metal, and will start to crack your skin if you left it on for a prolonged period of time.
Well, should I bring my new phone?
A good rule of thumb is, if you don't want to lose it, don't bring it. Things can easily get misplaced or left behind while exploring the city. Or just a dust storm blows in and turns white, making it almost impossible to find things. Personally, I make sure to leave my phone tucked into a bag that I don't open until we're packed up and ready to leave. And like I previously said, the alkaline dust is highly corrosive to electronics, so if you do bring out your phone, make sure to clean it out daily and don't take it out during a dust storm.
When does Burning Man happen?
Every year it happens the week leading up to Labor Day, which is the first Monday of September. So that would mean the Sunday 8 days before Labor Day at midnight is when the gates officially open.
When gates open, is there a long line?
Right when the gates open, there might be a line at midnight, but it's all a guessing game trying to figure out what time will work the best to have the least amount of traffic possible.
When is the best time to arrive?
If you arrive early between like 5 and 10 a.m., that seems to be the least amount of traffic. But again, it's all a gamble, and who knows? We personally have waited anywhere between 1 and 4 hours, but we also have talked to people who have waited 12 hours to over 20 hours in line due to rain.
Not a mercy.
A simple way to skip the entire line process is use the previously mentioned Burner Express bus, where you'll have no wait at all.
I see a lot of bikes. Do I need one?
For sure you'll want one. The cheaper with no gears, the better. Beach cruiser bikes are a very popular style, and we've had one each year. You could bring an electronic bike, but the logistics of charging it and making sure the alkaline dust doesn't destroy the battery means you'll probably have to buy a more expensive one. There are about
1,000.
free yellow bikes that you can hop on and ride throughout the city for free, but by the middle of the week, most of these will be broken down or hiding out in someone's camp. You'll also want to add lights on the bike so you can ride around at night. And while you're at it, add your own flare to the bike so you can easily spot it. The last thing you want is to leave your bike somewhere and then come back to where there's like 200 bikes around it and you have no idea where yours is.
What are you talking about? Lighting the bike?
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't seen by now, there's no paved roads, no infrastructure, or buildings. It's all temporary. So at night, having some sort of light on your bike so people don't hit you or you don't hit someone else is essential. This also goes with yourself too. If you don't have a light on at night, bikers won't easily be able to spot you, or you won't be able to find your way to the porta potties at night.
Really? Porta potties?
Yeah, the Burning Man organization brings out around
1,000.
porta potties to be placed throughout the city. You'll want to leave your ego at the door, since these are some of the most disgusting bathrooms I've ever seen.
Count me in, dudes.
It's more common than not to have no toilet paper in the portos, so bringing an extra toilet roll around with you is probably, smart? As well as bringing some extra hand sanitizer with you, since those often run out towards the end of the week.
Okay, so how can I avoid getting dirty?
If you stayed inside an RV the entire time, never left, that's probably the only realistic way you're not getting dirty. Small dust particles are always in the air. The sooner you embrace the playa, the more relaxed you should feel. Many theme camps will have a shower or two where you can clean up. You'll just have to make sure the theme camp you're looking to join has one.
What do you eat?
You can eat like you do the rest of the year, or be invited to a 5-course dining extravaganza with lobster and shrimp. We find it much easier when open camping, or when food isn't provided to us by the camp, to have stuff that doesn't require much work, like instant rice, a can of chili, tuna packages, Pop-Tarts, instant potatoes. But then again, you might find a camp that has all your food needs taken care of, or you might just be gifted a slice of pizza or a pancake.
It wasn't pancakes, okay?
While you're out and about, so you don't have to eat a Pop-Tart for dinner.
Gifts, right. What should I gift at Burning Man? Gifting!
Okay, so this is a very common misunderstanding around the gifting economy. Bringing small stickers or pins or patches to hand out is fine and all, but you're kind of missing the larger point here. This isn't a swap meet or bartering that's going on. Gifting can be helping build a camp or an art project. It could be helping out with the lamplighters or greeters. It could be working shifts at your theme camp's bar, or it might be bringing your guitar out and performing on an art piece, or whatever other talent you may have. That's what really makes a good gift.
What are the big events not to miss?
In our must-see section, we'll go over the big events. But just quickly, the only real scheduled events are the gates opening, the man burning, the temple burning, and the event closing. You'll get an event book when you arrive called the What, Where, When that lists a large amount of things happening throughout the city at specific times and days. There's also the iBurn or the Dust smartphone apps that'll list events, camp locations, art, and more. But by no means do either of these options list all the events that are happening throughout the city. Just riding your bike around the streets, you'll see signs and boards showing the events that are happening at that particular camp.
What? Temple?
Yes, Temple, which is a large-scale memorial structure just a little bit further out from the city than the Man and made almost entirely of wood. Unlike the Man structure, which is built and funded by the Burning Man Project, the Temple is funded almost entirely by donations from the community. And it serves as a place for contemplation, grief, and remembrance for any religion or no religious beliefs. And at the end of the week, they'll burn the entire structure down.
What should I expect at the event?
Expect the unexpected. It's like maybe the only time in years or maybe even decades that you won't have cell phone service for an extended period of time. Embrace the weirdness. Embrace play. Embrace your inner child. Embrace the unknown. Embrace the possibility of feeling every human emotion in just 1 week's time. Embrace being in a place that doesn't even have sponsorships or advertisements.
Decommodification.
There's really nothing like seeing zero commercial logos or branding anywhere in a city. You really don't realize how many ads for products you are constantly bombarded with in the default world until you go to a place without any.
Oh yeah!
Most importantly, on what to expect is to go in with zero expectations. If you build this event up in your mind beforehand, you're setting yourself up for a bad burn.
What? Default world?
Oh yeah, Burning Man has its own weird words and phrases that you'll hear. The default is basically the world that we're living in now, your normal life, or just watching a YouTube video, maybe this video.
Right.
That is the normal life, or the default that you live, with money and consumerism and poverty and war and judging other people. Burning Man is the opposite of that. So no money, no buying, no judgment of others.
Radical inclusion.
Another few Burning Man isms, I guess, is safety third, the playa provides, and f*** your burn.
Oh, okay. What types of people are there? And what are the vibes like?
Same exact people you see out in the world every day. It could be your mailman, it could be your bartender, anyone. The average age of the population is in their late 30s, but you'll see people up in their 80s as well as babies and children throughout the city. For the vibes, there's quite a bit of pranks, snark, and shenanigans that'll happen.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic.
Both in and outside of Burning Man. So if you ask a question or are looking up something on the Burning Man Facebook page or Burning Man Reddit, you'll most likely get a bunch of snarky responses, especially if it's something obvious to the community.
Evil shenanigans.
You'll also see so much fun, happy, playful, and kind attitudes out there that it reminds me so much of being a young child.
How long should I go for?
Our recommendation is to stay in the city for the entire week, Sunday to Sunday.
Recommendation.
The city literally has something going on every minute of every day. If you just go for a long weekend, you're going to miss out on a lot of what makes Burning Man special. Wednesday has consistently been one of my favorite days during the event.
Is it safe?
More or less, this is a very safe city to be in, but the word safe completely depends on your choices and preparation. From falling off an art installation that has zero safety infrastructure, to taking too many drugs or alcohol, to the previously mentioned extreme heat, it kinda all depends on your choices that you make at Burning Man. Being self-aware and not taking unnecessary risks will go a long way to being safe. Theft does occur here, especially with e-bikes, so locking up your bike is a wise move. And that, my friends, is the essential things you'll want to know before visiting Black Rock City, or better known as
Burning Man.
Advanced planning and quick action will be required on your part since tickets are only available on the website during specific days leading up to the event. You'll first want to subscribe to the Jackrabbit Speaks newsletter so you'll be in the know of when ticket registration begins and then when the sale begins as well. There are multiple sales that happen throughout the year, so make sure to mark your calendars for the date and time both the registration and sales kick off. Once you get registered by simply providing your email address,
I have to send some emails.
a few days before the actual ticket sale, you'll get a personal email link which you'll have to click at a specific time and date. This next part is to maximize your chances of grabbing the least expensive ticket, which still takes some timing and luck.
Woohoo!
If the email says it's starting around noon Pacific time, make sure that you're ready to click that email link 15 to 35 seconds after the sale time begins.
After.
Every year, it seems like there's a little time for the servers to update, and if you click the link right at the release time, or even a couple seconds later, you can actually have a negative effect of where you end up in the purchasing line. And then once you're in that queue for a few minutes, or maybe even up to an hour, depending on your luck, you'll hopefully end up on the buy screen, where you can purchase a maximum of 2 tickets and 1 vehicle pass. The price per ticket charged is not the same for each sale, so be sure to research which ticket sale you want to try for. If you forgot about the sale or the tickets are sold out, fear not.
Woohoo!
There is a secure ticket exchange program, or otherwise known as STEP, where you can buy and sell tickets to the event.
Count me.
But please do not try buying tickets on a different website, or on Craigslist, or on eBay, or on StubHub. You're more likely than not going to get scammed. If by chance you're in a larger city, you could look into the Burning Man Facebook group for your city or for your state, but make sure to purchase it in person and examine the actual ticket. The final option you have, especially if you're looking to join a theme camp, is many of these camps get extra tickets and they're available if you join their camp. You cannot forget about the music. The big sound stages, the mutant vehicles with huge state-of-the-art sound systems, the small group of musicians playing in the corner. You'll be able to hear it all throughout the city almost anywhere you are, especially Thursday through Sunday morning during the event. But please, don't let anyone tell you that they only play electronic or house music. That is not at all the case. Yes, there is a lot of it that is played, but you'll also be able to hear almost every type of music out there. You can find all the giant sound camps on the Esplanade Road right here, and on the outer 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock roads located here. Then the giant art cards with the sound systems you'll be able to find on the open playa facing away from the city. For a good while now, the Rockstar Librarian has been compiling a music guide for people attending so they know ahead of time what music is getting played where and on what date.
Need the info.
Some camps and mutant vehicles also post their lineup on Instagram a week or so before the event begins. But out of all things to know, try and remember this. Burning Man is not a music festival. Music is a creative art, just like physical art. And so if you're planning on going to the Mayan Warrior set at midnight, keep remembering that this is Burning Man. There is no guarantee that that person will be performing at that time, or even if that vehicle is going to be out there. Any small issue can pop up that changes the entire music schedule or cancels all the music for that night. Going into the event without a specific schedule to stick to is, without a doubt, the best way to experience Burning Man.
Recommendation.
But it's also your burn, so your burn. There are a handful of ways to get to Burning Man. All unfortunately have their pros and cons. You could drive, which is especially great if you live nearby, but not great if you live across the country or in another continent. But by bringing your car or RV or renting one, you'll also have to deal with the alkaline dust problem. The alkaline dust is highly corrosive as well as cleaning out all the dust. You'll also more likely than not have to wait at the gate line to enter and exit the event. And one last note for cars and RVs, once you get in and find your camping site, you cannot drive around or move the vehicle until you're ready to leave Black Rock City. You could also directly fly into Burning Man if you own your own plane. That's right, kids, Burning Man has its own airport. Or, if you're not lucky enough to own your own airplane, you could grab a ride on the Burner Express Air, where it operates out of 4 or so different cities in Nevada and in California. But those tickets are going to be quite expensive. Then finally, you can take the previously mentioned Burner Express bus from Reno Airport or San Francisco. Again, you'll be limited to the amount of bags, but you'll also skip waiting in line. If you're thinking about taking a taxi or a ride share to Black Rock City, you will be turned away at the gate, so, don't do that.
Not a mercy.
Now for getting around the city, you have 4 options here. Hopping on a mutant vehicle, which these things look like nothing you've ever seen before. They are limited to driving only 5 miles an hour, so they'll be kind of on the slow side. You can get around on a trusty bicycle or e-bike, which are also supposed to go 5 miles an hour, but if you've ever ridden a bike before, 5 miles an hour is going to be almost impossible without falling over. If you or someone in your group has a movement-limiting disability, you can get an accessibility vehicle license so you can get around without needing to have the vehicle look like a mutant one. And then, of course, we have the classic
Walking.
Going out for long walks around the neighborhood or onto the open playa, you'll be able to take in things much slower, so you can easily stop and chat with people or check out art without needing to lock up your bike.
The day bag.
Whenever you're thinking about leaving camp, you should always think about carrying a day bag with you. If something happens randomly, which is all too common, like a dust storm, or your bike tire pops, or you forgot where your bike is, or you've been out in the sun for 5 hours and turning into a lobster, all of which has happened to me, you want to be prepared as possible for anything, especially since you can easily end up having to walk an hour back to your camp. So this is the list of things you should consider having on you. Sunscreen. We prefer a travel-sized one, so you can use it in a small fanny pack or just chuck it in a larger backpack. Some sort of water, whether that be a camel bag or just a reusable water bottle, either work. Goggles for those random dust storms. A mask or scarf to cover up your nose and mouth during the dust storms. Chapstick, since it's so dry in the high desert. A snack or two, just in case you get a little hungry and don't want to go all the way back to camp. Toilet paper, for
Oh yeah!
a cup or a mug if anyone is gifting a drink and you're thirsty, a carabiner to attach to either yourself or your bike for things like goggles or cups, a small notebook, and a pen or a Sharpie, especially if you don't plan to have your phone on you the whole time. And then we have the optional items to consider. You have your phone or your camera, a playa gift, headlamp depending on the time of day, a moop bag, which is just a plastic bag used for storing garbage, lights that you can put on your body at night, something long sleeve in case you get cold, travel size hand sanitizer, and possibly the what, where, when guide.
The must-sees.
This is our required list for anyone looking to visit Black Rock City, especially if you only have a day to do it, which frankly sounds insane, but hey, your burn. Obviously, let's start out with the man. You'll easily be able to see it when looking down the streets or on the open playa from afar, but make sure to spend some time to actually visit this huge art piece, which will get burnt down on Saturday evening around 9 p.m. The temple. Like mentioned previously, the temple is a large-scale memorial structure where you can contemplate, grieve, or remember lost ones. You'll most likely feel a lot of different emotions here, so be warned about that. And for sure, you should not be taking any photos or filming inside or around the temple. It'll be burned down the following day after the man, on Sunday, just after dusk. Next we have Center Camp. This is always a great first visit, especially if this is your first year.
You little virgin. Ooh.
It now has multiple things consistently going on no matter the time of day, and it features a huge shade structure to keep you cool from the sun. The open playa.
Right near the beach.
Riding out into the open playa and to the deep playa, you'll go from a crazy metropolis to being completely alone in a very short period of time. Spending a little time cruising all the way back to the trash fence and looking back at the city and the art and everything will feel so small. You'll also be able to ride by and join in huge dance parties or find someone gifting coffee by an art piece. You'll also get completely different vibes out there compared to in the city. The art. Throughout the city, and mostly in the open playa, you'll see some of the most creative, mind-melting, unique, odd, clever, and fun art that you can possibly imagine, rivaling mini museums. Most of the art you'll be able to touch, climb, and even write on, making it a very personal and interactive experience. Picking a random small object in the distance and riding over to it, you can stumble upon some really cool hidden gems, and all the art you see is either completely self-funded, crowd-funded, or given a partial grant by the Burning Man organization. The layout of this city is one of the easiest to navigate, and we've been all over the world. It's laid out in a clock formation, with 12 o'clock being here, the 3 o'clock here, and 9 o'clock here. The man is right here, which represents the exact middle of the clock. Camping is not allowed between the 10 o'clock to the 2 o'clock side, which is how we end up with the shape of the city that we have. Then from here, we'll end up with roads every 30 minutes on the clock. And further back in the city, you'll have roads every 15 minutes. Now, if you want to go around any of these streets, you'll just need to know the English alphabet, plus one word, Esplanade.
What did you say?
Esplanade is where something is always happening, and you'll find a lot of nightlife here. Then you'll find A, B, C, all the way down to K. Then the further out you go down the alphabet, the less and less activities and lights you'll be able to see, until you're all the way out at K Street, which is the edge of the city. It's simple enough, but it's also so much easier in this overhead view compared to being on the actual ground, when it will take you 20 minutes to ride a bike from here to here, or an hour to walk from here to here. And that, my friends, is the Black Rock City Travel Guide. If you still have questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below.
Need the info.
You mean shenanigans? You little virgin.
Move this man! Move!